How's it going, folks? Back at the world's worst movie theater later than usual because I was doing a live rewatch of the Steelers and Giants game, which if you want to go check that out, I'll leave a link to it up in the corner. But if you're just here to see what the next movie on my top 30 worst movies list is, well, here you go. What happens when you take one of the most popular bands of the 1970s, ABBA, and you make a generic-ass musical comedy based off of their songs, which was supposed to be based off the Broadway musical of the same name? Well, you get number 22 on my list of the worst movies I've ever seen, which is Mamma Mia. And of course, Mamma Mia is based off the songs of the successful pop group ABBA, with additional music composed by ABBA member Benny Andersson. It features a cast that includes Meryl Streep, Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, Stellan Skarsgård, Amanda Seyfried, Christine Baranski is also in the movie as well. So there is a really good cast involved in the movie. That's the only real positive thing I could say about the film, however. Because as the plot starts off, it's set on a colorful Greek island. The plot serves as the background for a wealth of ABBA songs. A young woman, played by Seyfried, is about to be married, discovering that any one of the three men could be her father. She invites all three to the wedding without telling her mother, Donna, played by Meryl Streep, who was once the lead singer of Donna and the Dynamos. In the meantime, Donna has invited her backup singers Rosie and Tanya. So, it sounds very much like the plot of the musical itself. I mean, it seems like everything's in place, so what's the problem with the movie? Try everything else, because this is a movie that I've talked about it several times before. This is one of those female-centered romantic comedies like the Sex and the City movie and many others, where the biggest problem with the movies, with these films in general, is that they completely have no clue on what comedy is supposed to be based off of. It's commonly known that comedy has to be based off of some form of misery and to be at its best, but this movie says, fuck that shit. Women can't handle misery, so we're going to make every bit of comedy as happy and jubilant as it can possibly be, because we don't want to offend women by doing so. And that's exactly what they do here. Every single bit of comedy in this movie is not written well, it's not acted well, it's just so poorly written. This is a terrible story. There are so many scenes in this film that just feels like they're padded out or thrown in for no reason whatsoever but to just extend the runtime. They seriously introduce characters into this movie we have not even seen up to this point and just expect us to buy it, and you can't do that. You can't just keep introducing characters out of the random blue and expect us to feel invested whatsoever. It also treats women like they're idiots. Like, there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where Sophie's boyfriend is trying to promote their wedding on the internet, and Meryl Streep literally says, he's gonna put me on the net, you know? Like, it's that terrible, awkward comedy I brought up on the Reviewing Network Live recently with the Wicked commercial. Like, this movie really does treat women like they have no idea how the modern world works at all. Even the ending of the movie is just so bad. Like, what happens is that Sophie decides not to get married to her boyfriend, and everybody is just okay with it. Yeah, everyone who spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars to come to this wedding on this island don't feel insulted or ripped off whatsoever. They're happy because, heaven forbid, we actually have another emotion besides happiness with these idiots. And it just gets even worse. You know, Pierce Brosnan's character proposes to Meryl Streep's character out of nowhere. She accepts, and then they're married. And the movie is so trying to not offend women whatsoever that it goes for the cheesiest, corniest ending for a romantic movie I have ever seen in my entire life. But I'm sure you're probably wondering, well, what about the music? What about the songs in the movie? Talk about the performances in this. As if this movie doesn't already insult your intelligence enough, they insult the music of ABBA as well. The actors in this movie cannot sing for shit whatsoever. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I want you to listen to Pierce Brosnan and Meryl Streep trying to belch out the song SOS. Just listen to this real quickly.
Have a lovely day, we nothing else can save me, SOS. When you're gone, how can I even try to go on?
And stop that because of copyright claims, but it's terrible. It's so bad, and it's like that with every single song in this movie. The actors in this cannot sing at all in this movie. There is not one song sequence in this movie that works. This movie is a fucking joke. This is a movie that's trying to be a love letter to ABBA's music library, but what it ends up being is one of the most annoying and most obnoxious romantic comedies ever made. There is nothing about this movie that works whatsoever. The music is bad, the acting is bad, the story is bad, the comedy is bad, the conflict is bad. This is insulting to not just ABBA fans, but to women in general, because it makes them seem inferior to who they really are, and panders down to them to such a sadistic low, that even Lifetime and Hallmark movies would look at this and go like, pull it back a little bit, guys. I mean, this movie just fails on every single level whatsoever. Now, you might be wondering, well, there's a sequel, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I mean, you know, it's been 10 years since the last movie, and, you know, this one got much more better reviews in general, was an even bigger box office success. What's your thoughts on that movie? Well, for the longest time, I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I thought, what am I really going to get from this movie that I didn't get from the last movie? I mean, this first movie was so terrible. I mean, what could this movie seriously do to make me change my mind on this? So I finally watched it not too long ago, and I gotta admit, it was actually kind of fun. Like, I was shocked at how much I enjoyed this movie, because, like, this movie fixes a lot of the problems that the original Mamma Mia did. I mean, it fixes a lot of the problems that the first movie did. The actors can sing this time around, which is very stunning, honestly. And I think there's just a better story overall. It's not afraid to go into, it's not pandering down to women in general. It's trying to do its own thing with a unique story in a very unique way. And, you know, Lily James, man, I've talked about her for the longest time with roles in Cinderella and Yesterday. I've always liked her as an actress as a whole, and this is another great performance from her, and this is really one of her strongest performances overall. It was just like, man, where did this movie come from? Like, this was a film that could have easily been just as obnoxious and annoying as the other film was, but no. It actually is, the people who made this movie actually said, you know what, we insulted the intelligence of women enough with the first film. Let's actually give them a good movie this time around. And the performances and the musical numbers are much better in general. The story is much better in general. And I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie for what it was. Like, I was really shocked that I was able to come out of this and say, Mamma Mia actually made something of value. I never figured that. And yeah, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again was surprisingly a really fun movie. Is it a great movie? No, but it's still a fun film overall, and certainly does a lot more in this film than the other Mamma Mia movie did, which as much as I praise the Here We Go Again, that first movie is still absolutely horrible. Avoid that first movie like the plague. But if you want to see a good movie in this series, actually give Here We Go Again a shot. It's actually a lot better than you would expect it to be, but as far as the first movie goes, avoid it. Mamma Mia, my 22nd brain fart. 22nd worst movie of all time. I got my numbers confused there for a second. I'm still baffled by the fact that I actually like something out of Mamma Mia. I never would have thought that. But with all that said, that's going to wrap this one up here. I know this is getting up here a little bit late, but I had to put up another video early. But, yeah, Mamma Mia is my 22nd worst movie of all time. If you want to hear what I had to say about my number 23 worst movie of all time, go ahead and check out the playlist as well as the episode itself on the next is on this page here. And I will see you guys next time. So until then, I'll see you next time.